So when we think about the state of Florida, Stephen, we think about Florida man, but there is something that exists in my belief as somebody who actually loves the state of Louisiana and has had a lot of fun in New Orleans specifically. There is something called Louisiana man too. When thinking about your past as a native of Baton Rouge, somebody who grew up in Louisiana, do you have an example that comes to mind of a Louisiana man?
Well, I think we are the culture that can, focus on politics, food, and sports and still get along, right? Like, we're, growing up in Baton Rouge, my mom used to say she never really worried about me coming home because I would always have to come home to eat. And y'all are sitting in Little Easy that is the 30-year dream of bringing a little taste of Baton Rouge here. So now my mom visits here a lot more than she used to. She's like, oh, man, no, now I got maybe the visits will be fewer and farther between. But one of the things that's been interesting about Little Easy is that we meet Louisiana men every day, right? Like the guy that wants to spend 20 minutes talking about the crawfish bowl recipe that I will gladly oblige because we learn every time we talk, what's the hunting and fishing and sports and even politics. Like it is ubiquitously woven into the culture in a way that you can disagree and still share a beer. And that's probably my favorite part of it.
A properly managed boil.
Right? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
Well, Brian, let's go ahead and officially introduce today's guests.
Yeah, so Trey, as Stephen mentioned, Stephen Shallcross, owner and operator here at Little Easy, and Dan McClain, manager here at Little Easy, on Cesar Chavez, East Cesar Chavez. Cesar Chavez is kind of your hood. You've been here.
We've been here a little while.
Yeah.
We opened Sawyer's more than 10 years ago, and then Donata, and now this, and we're getting the hang of this street pretty good, y'all.
Yeah. Well, I was excited. I had my first oyster po' boy and a frozen hurricane yesterday for lunch. It was a small hurricane, if my wife is listening.
No judgment. That's part of our charm.
I was going to say, it is, in anything inspired by Louisiana culture, right? It's like you can have a hurricane whenever you need to.
Absolutely.
But
it can be an appetizer, an entree, or a dessert here.
There you go. And I was struck, though, you mentioned Sawyer & Co., and, having dined there before and know the spot, and you've been there for a while now. I love this. You've always had Louisiana influences over there, but the distillation here. When I walked in, saw the space, baseball game was on, good little crew around, and I was like, this feels really, really good. So congrats on this. How long y'all been open?
Just over a year. We're officially a toddler, I think. Is that right?
Yeah. But it's really cool because we kind of created an experience at Donata. And I think we're doing the same thing here. We're definitely, like Stephen said, we're bringing a little piece of his Louisiana childhood to life here in Austin.
Well, and you're
mostly misspent youth, but yeah, sure.
Hey, no, and I mean, you nailed it, right? It's like, I do think that, and it's funny that you guys are on this week, because last week I'm pretty sure that our sometimes co-host Matthew Odom had put a little he had put a little hate on Louisiana, because he was talking about driving to Washington D.C. and how once, he's from Houston, so the first part of the drive isn't pretty and all this stuff. And he said, it doesn't really happen until you get into Tennessee or Carolina. We know Matthew. That's just kind of how he rolls. It's like, he needs beautiful drives and sushi, apparently, to be happy.
Fairness to Matthew's stance last week. The swamp is a really mesmerizing thing to look at. It is about the poor quality of roads, which is the result of Louisiana going for a long time of insisting on a legal drinking age of 18. Kudos to them for a sort of moral compass that denied them.
So my mother was actually the lobbyist that helped pen that legislation, And she could have picked a date for the onset of the 21 drinking age at pretty much any date over about a 4-month span. But she chose to pick my brother's 18th birthday as the date that it went into effect. Can you imagine being the kid who's turning 18 and literally on his birth date, the legal drinking age jumped to 21?
Oh, good job,
Hey, Brian.
Mom.
Yeah,
good job,
I know
Mom.
you love that.
Well, I've got to tell my Louisiana driving story.
Please
I didn't
do.
get a chance to do it. So one of my good friends growing up, his father had a RC Cola bottling factory, and he had a sugarcane plantation on the bayou, and it was a great summer trip. We finally get to go to the house, and
That's awesome.
I mean, I remember driving the farm truck up to the bar and shooting pool, and we were 12. I mean, it was amazing. It was super cool.
Yeah, as long as you could get your money up on top of the bar.
That's right.
That was the reinforcement.
But and funny enough, speaking of McClain, this is back in a time where HBO would just play the same movie over and over again, and his mom would always make us take naps, and I was not a napper, and so so I would just go down.
How old were you?
11, 12.
Naps at 11 and 12?
I know. I think it was more so that they could do.
Well, that was
they wanted to
cocktail
do.
hour,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, no, I remember that.
But I ended up just going down to the TV room, and what movie was on was Die Hard on a loop. And so I watched Die Hard for like 4 days in a row. And I mean, it's, there could be worse movies on a loop. But the story on the road is his dad, he had this like Lincoln Town car. He was a chain smoker. It was hot. We were driving down dirt roads, bumpy. And I'm sitting on the left side, and maybe I'd never had beef jerky. So I was having beef jerky, and Stephen, my buddy, could see that I was turning green, and he switched seats with his sister right before I fucking yacked all over her. So I always tell my kids, I was like, it took me about 30 years to eat beef jerky again. But that's
normally not what makes you throw up in Louisiana, for the record.
No, that's true. That's true. But as a 12-year-old in 100-degree
sure.
heat, just getting like secondhand smoke blown into your face, it was a tough ride for me. But it is a crystal clear memory of Louisiana, and you talk about the food. It is just such an incredible food culture. Obviously the French influence has such a huge deal to do with it, but you think about food cities and food cultures, right? Yeah. It's like, for me, some of the most kind of quintessentially American food, right? It's like, I feel like Chicago has a very strong food culture, American food culture, and I also think New Orleans and Louisiana has kind of taken the French influence, but really made it its own, right? It's used. I mean, again, you talk about crawfish.
It's Creole, right? Which is
both.
It's French and African and Spanish, in a way that really only uniquely comes together there in that way.
Yeah,
so
totally.
it is in no small way the only kind of truly organic culinary in the United States that is uniquely its own, in the sense that it's. All of those elements had to exist, to create it, like jazz, right?
Right.
But
Jelly roll.
One of the things that gets asked a bunch is like, people are like, so what? Why did you build Little Easy? And it really is that, it's just a lot. It's a lot easier to come on vacation here for an afternoon than it is to catch a flight to New Orleans, right?
Right.
And Donata is kind of our Mexican vacation, and we really want this to be, a little bit of a sanctuary of, silly fun, without having to catch that flight. Because we all need some fun right now, y'all.
Yeah,
I don't know
bet.
if anybody's depressed about anything. But let's talk about baseball and fun.
I was gonna say. I was like, you want it? Well, you know what's really fun? For the LSU fans out there, it's
and the games will all be televised.
It's always I was going to say it's always fun to see an Arkansas shortstop make the wrong decision and send your team into another College World Series final. It's going to be a great series. The Coastal Carolina arms are great. LSU's obviously so tradition rich and a great baseball program. I'd be remiss. My brother and sister-in-law are both LSU grads, so they're big Tiger fans. But their son is a sophomore at Arkansas, so I'm sure their home viewing last night may have been a little tense,
giving them a little bit of crap. Well, look, LSU is one of those schools, and I realized that the rivalry gained a little bit of heat a few years ago when LSU came to visit Texas and didn't have air conditioning for a very, very hot evening in Austin. That was the year that LSU, of course, went on to win a national championship, a dominant team, and Texas pushed them to the brink better than I think anybody did that year. But I feel like LSU was one of those.
Lincoln Riley's defense. Oh, wait a minute. No, he didn't.
The weekly Lincoln Riley shot. I'm here for that, by the way. I feel about Lincoln Riley like you do.
Screw that guy.
Hey, he's going Jimbo right now with USC, not to get too far off track by just money whipping guys. Let's see how that works out for him in a couple of years.
Good luck, Lincoln. At least he got rid of his P90X training program. But no, screw him. He doesn't want to play Notre Dame. He's a wuss and bad at barbecue.
But very bad at barbecue. But Stephen, as a guy who grew up in Baton Rouge, who came to Austin originally to attend the University of Texas, I feel like
we weren't in the same conference back then.
We weren't, but I feel like there's still a sort of camaraderie between those two schools that may not exist in a decade, but right now I do still feel like
well, it definitely exists in my life.
Say that again?
I said it definitely exists in my life, right?
Yeah.
Because,
with all the family back home?
Yeah, you can't help but, I mean, my stepdad ran the scoreboard for the LSU stadium my entire adolescence. Like, I literally grew up in that stadium, and I've if I started now, I still couldn't catch as many UT basketball games as I did back then, because who has the time to do we would see every game, right? And so it's hard not to bleed a little purple and gold, even though I love me some Longhorns. And
do you have a favorite memory from being a kid watching games in that stadium?
So for football, there's a lot, but like mostly the thing that was wild is that I had a pass that enabled us to move around, right? Like, so imagine being 12 and 13 and you could, be on the sidelines and there's no way to describe the electrifying feeling of being on the stage at Death Valley. I mean, like, I came to UT in 1990 and I was just like, oh my God, we have got to get these guys excited comparatively, right? Like, I remember my freshman year at UT, first game, I rally my entire dorm, and I'm like, all right, guys, we got to go find the tailgates. And people are like, the tailgate? I'm like, oh God, just follow me. It's going to be amazing. And we like parade around the entire stadium, and everybody's like, what is the matter with you? Are you okay? Because the only tailgating that was actually happening in 1990 was like around the baseball stadium. I mean, it was literally like on the other side of the interstate. I mean, it grew up. That culture grew up a little bit in the 4 years I was here. But
were they tailgating along the LBJ library by the time you were done?
By the time I was done, that parking lot, I don't know if it was directly in front of it or not, but there was parking lots, just south of LBJ that they had some tailgating going on in, right off of MLK. That was the first one that like legit opened up, which was hilarious because they weren't even selling spots, right? Like, it was just a first come, first serve. And we would go and, be there at 5 o'clock in the morning and put some chairs down and, all right, here's our spot. I'm like, you guys could monetize this stuff, take a page. But
it only took a couple decades.
But
CDC's still trying to figure it out.
So much of it is like we were the kids that were sneaking out of the game to go catch the end of the tailgates. Because especially if they were doing good, we'd be like, all right, there's free beer on that trailer. Come on, guys, let's make haste.
Yeah, I mean, I will. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, as a Sooner, right? I grew up very conflicted. My my senior year was the 03 Sugar Bowl with Saban, and the stories of how some of our fans were treated.
I'm sorry.
No, it was.
That's not cool.
No. It was maybe a little over the line.
Oh, for sure.
But
That's surprising. I normally hear good stories about LSU fans and their treatment of opposing fans, unless it's a big SEC
well, you
rival.
got to
Unless
remember
it's Florida.
Well, you got to remember though, this was
Alabama, maybe.
Alabama.
This was Saban's LSU, right? So this was LSU's kind of return. So I think that there was a lot of pent up need, and it was on home turf, right?
Right.
Like this is back BCS era, so it was like home turf in the Sugar Bowl. It's like you're not gonna get it easy. But
I just blame Oklahoma fans for not being able to drink as well.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's
That's
fine.
fair. I mean, tonight we're gonna put one on though. The Oklahoma fans are gonna have a great night. Happy World Championship Day, Oklahoma City Thunder.
Bring on the Thunder. I have a lot of friends. I mean, my brother-in-law is from Oklahoma, and one of my former business partners, and so like my phone has been blowing up with Thunder, like.
Well, I
all
said
week.
Don't get the cart ahead of the horse just yet, though. You did this at the beginning of the series. You were talking about sweep, and here we are, Game 6.
Look, Indiana has played a great series. They're an incredibly tough team, but with a very limited Halliburton, I just don't see how they do it tonight.
Especially because he has been the guy in crunch time
I
through all
mean-
the miraculous comebacks that they've made throughout these playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, going into the fourth quarter in Game 5, he had 4 points. Like
Yeah.
it's just like they just don't have that extra level. And again,
they were in complete disarray in the fourth quarter, too. I mean, they were turning the ball over like a JV roster.
the Thunder depth is part of its strength. Is that they can have. I mean, J-Dub goes for 40. And SGA doesn't get his 30 for it. That's the difference. And so I mean, you're right. I don't need, but I mean, look, I said this to somebody the other day. It's like, there's a part of me, you never want a Game 7. You never want a Game 7 in sports because anything can happen. At the same time, if we do get a Game 7, it means we win the World Championship in Oklahoma City, at which point, guys, this is
Still putting the cart in front of the horse here.
They
I
are
like
not
the confidence.
They are not losing 2 games with a hurt Halliburton. It's not happening.
All right.
And I did get Mr. Cleo's bet of the week. So
that would be Matthew Odom.
Matthew Odom, Mr. Cleo.
Absentee co-host.
He's got OKC to win tonight, the under on Halliburton points and assists, and an over on McConnell points.
He loves him some McConnell, doesn't he?
He said if that bet hits along with my Thunder in 6, I cover all my playoff losses. And he goes, so therefore it won't. TJ will have 8. So we'll see how it works out for our dear friend Matthew. But like I said, June 19th and August 22nd are going to be the 2 most important days in Oklahoma City history. One will be.
Was there a tornado that happened at the end of the 1970s?
August 22nd,
or something?
1979. Yours truly joins the world here. That's my birthday. Baptist Hospital, Oklahoma City. So those are the 2 days that everybody needs to remember in Oklahoma history. I mean, maybe Wilkinson's 47-game winning streak. Maybe there's some other things there. But
not to say I'm not happy with you sitting next to us right now. It's a little bit sad for the state of Oklahoma that that's the second most important day in the state's history.
What are you talking about?
Shout out to my friend Catherine Matheson, OKC, too. Big Truck Tacos is the place to eat a taco in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
She was my favorite chef in Austin for so many years.
Well, yeah,
and,
she's good friends with Joel Freed from El Dorado, too.
That was Joel's mentor, man.
Yeah, no, she is. I've heard nothing but amazing things.
She's so rad. She's like the most fun person I think I've ever known. And, and she makes a rockin' taco.
Well,
so go get your Thunder Big Truck Tacos.
In all seriousness, the Thunder are a evolution for the city, much like its food culture, and much like when I moved to Austin in 2003, right? I mean, Oklahoma City, it was a sleepy town. It was a great place to grow up. It didn't have a lot of, it was a boom and bust town. It was an oil town, much like West Texas, right? And, obviously natural gas and potentially earthquakes and fracking have assisted in its growth. But the MAPS program is what started when I was in middle school. There was a 1 penny tax on sales tax that helped the city rebuild Bricktown. Bricktown gets rebuilt, downtown gets revitalized. They build a new stadium for the 89ers at the time, AAA baseball team. And it's we talk about this all the time. It's like sports are such a huge part of a city and how it helps the city grow and evolve and have community and have identity. And so this program starts and downtown starts, and so then they build a new arena without a team. I mean, it was a hockey team. There was the cavalry. There was like a development league basketball team. And because that's built and sitting there when Katrina happens, the Hornets come.
I didn't know that story. That makes sense. That's very forward thinking, though.
So,
I love it.
I mean, well, I don't even know how forward thinking it was.
A little bit of luck too.
Yeah, total. I mean, and tragedy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely devastating hurricane.
I regret the word luck.
That's okay. That's okay. And so the Hornets come, Chris Paul, and the city adopts this team and just shows this incredible passion for basketball. And that is what sets up the whole thing in motion for Clay Bennett to buy the Sonics. Seattle doesn't want to make a new deal, no worries. Brings the Sonics to OKC, starts the Thunder. Clay Bennett owns Devon Energy, big, natural gas, the only skyscraper in the downtown view. All of this starts with these things, with kind of, a municipality trying to improve itself and improve its experience. And with it comes independent restaurants and eyeballs. And so, like, for me, the reason why I'm so excited is because, like, this tonight could be the culmination for this city to be on the map. I mean, a world championship. I mean, I love my Sooners, but an NBA championship is, I don't know, it's probably worth 3 national championships.
A pro sports championship?
I mean,
I guess it just depends on the individual. But you're right. No, just for the rest of the world, that resonates around the world more than Oklahoma winning 3 national championships in football. That's correct.
I mean, we have 7. But
my friend Catherine will definitely be able to charge more for a taco.
Well, the beautiful thing, too, about Oklahoma City is the same thing that we experienced when we came to Austin, guys, and that is when a town is growing and on the upswing, everything's a little bit calmer in terms of real estate, in terms of cost of living, so you don't have to charge more for a taco.
Right.
You can just make a really good taco, and everybody can have a great existence. It gets challenging as cost of living goes up. You see this with your staff, with your team. To do a casual concept like this, you've got to stay busy to take care of everybody. It's not like you're printing money for yourself. It's more about the ecosystem. And, everybody's got to live and work and drive in Austin. And so, anyways, I'm, as you can tell, I'm pretty fired up.
Well, it's totally understandable why you are as juiced as you are right now to potentially get to celebrate a championship tonight. That begets a question, though, that I wanted to ask both you, Stephen, and you as well, Dan McClain. You've been a little bit quiet over there. What is a best or favorite celebration that you've had from celebrating your sports team reaching that pinnacle?
Definitely the Cubs. Cubs World Series.
Yeah, buddy.
2016.
Yeah, buddy. Go Cubs, go.
Like a lot of kids, I grew up watching the Cubs on WGN because it was the only thing on sports related when I was a kid. And when that happened, that was like that was probably the coolest experience sports-wise in my life. I got to go to a Cubs game. My wife and we went on vacation earlier that year, and we saw it was just an incredible game. And I got to go to Wrigley. I'd never been inside Wrigley before, and it's one of those special places. You like get goosebumps walking in.
That's awesome.
It was one of the coolest experiences of my life, and then just seeing them win the way that they did, come back, and I mean it was kind of like the Boston, when Boston broke the curse, like what was that, 2004 I think. So just a great experience.
I was thinking about it kind of this past weekend when J.J. Spawn won the U.S. Open, right?
Yeah.
Things aren't going your way, rain delay, Derek Lee comes into the clubhouse, says a few words, and next thing you know, KB and Rizzo are hugging in the middle of Cleveland.
Yeah, it's so cool that like sports can do that. You know, it can like bring so many people together, and there's just so many good stories. And it like I think as you get older, you don't really root. Me personally, anyway, I don't really root for one particular team. But there's so many really feel-good stories that are easy to get behind. Because I happen to have a job where I'm not at home a lot, so it's easier to kind of catch highlights, and you find, at least I do, I find myself like rooting for the stories and for the individuals.
I'm
That's why
completely
we have
with.
so many TVs here, right? Is that we'll play the Cubs too, man. we're into
Well,
it.
I mean, watching the Cubs this year is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
PCA. Did you see his
PCA. There's too many.
No.
We need to go back to names.
No.
We need
Okay,
to go
fine.
back to
Fine.
names. SGA,
Pete-
PCA,
no.
PCH,
Pete-
LBT,
Pete
BLT.
Crow Armstrong, whose mom was in I think she was in Rookie of the Year or
Pete Crow
in
Armstrong.
or anyways.
Okay.
She was an actress. I think she was the one that told Rowan Gardner to float it. But anyways, Pete Crow Armstrong, center fielder, all-star.
So wait a second. Her son actually plays for the Cubs now?
He's amazing.
Wow.
He could potentially be the MVP. I mean, he is.
But could he be Rookie of the Year?
Good pull. No, so in a period of 4 minutes the other night, he makes this incredible diving catch in left center, and then he rockets a home run right into the scoreboard in right. Like, he is just electric. He's fast. He's a smart ball player. He's always hustling. Like, this Cubs team is giving me the feels again, where it's just like, man, they don't quit. Council's a great manager. The arms are, Cade Horton, Sooner, talking about rookies. He went toe-to-toe with Skeens the other night. Didn't get the win, but threw like 6 innings of, no-run baseball. Like, yeah, the Cubs, I'm with you on the WGN Cubs, baby. I'm excited.
And Dan, I agree with you on rooting more for the feel-good stories, guys who persevere and figure out a way to get it done. I also find myself less amused by those stories where somebody just continues to not be able to get out of their own way. Like maybe the easiest example to point to here in Austin is the Johnny Manziel story from a few years ago. At a certain point, that was no longer amusing. That was just sad. It's like watching someone completely self-destruct. I don't know if he's gotten together at this point. Some say he has. I hope he has. But that runs counter to, I think, why sports are so special. Sports are an extension of what is happening in society a lot of ways, and you want to see those reasons why we should all feel a little bit more optimistic. So, Stephen, I'm going to turn to you now. You just mentioned celebrating the Cubs World Series victory. A lot of people would put that as number one.
Saints, like
2009 Saints, yeah.
Yeah, that whole, talk about feel good all the way through. And I grew up in Baton Rouge where, we were the Aints fans, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
It was
paper bags on the heads.
Paper bags on the heads. That was the thing. Actually, a buddy of mine came to Halloween this year as an Aints fan. I was like, no, it's too soon for that. We're not doing that anymore.
Hopefully he was wearing a Sam Mills jersey.
Well, if you follow anything on sports media, I think that Arch Manning may be the give back from Louisiana to Texas, since Texas gave you Drew Brees.
Well, yeah.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
I mean, apparently Arch is. I don't know that anybody's going to be able to stop him.
Well, based on all the national hype going on, I would urge a little bit of caution because Texas is breaking a lot of new guys in at different positions on offense. But Arch is the real deal. He will be the number one overall pick at some point. Probably not next year's draft, but perhaps the year after. Maybe the Saints will be bad enough in a couple of years, Stephen, where they'll get him as the number one overall pick.
Wouldn't that be nice?
No,
But were you here in Austin when the Saints won the Super Bowl?
Okay. I was, yes.
Okay.
But I had a lot of friends, still. And I mean, just like the whole post-Katrina world of New Orleans. And, one of my best friends moved back after Katrina, just, because it was hard to not go and support the city that we love so much.
Right.
And
he's
a
still
very
there.
good friend who did the same. He worked for he started New Schools for New Orleans, which was
cool.
a charter school incubator. And New Orleans post-Katrina was really kind of, sadly, tabula rasa. So there was an opportunity to try and go back, give back, rebuild. I could see how, and again, this talking about OKC, it's like when these teams can then reach the mountaintop, what it does for civic pride is so big.
And I would say that was just like straight up faith and hope, right? Like that was, that whole season was just believing in God.
There you go. I love that. Well, it's going to be, it's a great weekend. It's a great weekend for y'all. There's all sorts of things to watch here.
Yeah, we're excited. And we don't discriminate, right? Like you want to, the Thunder will be on tonight.
Oh,
sure.
Good.
Well, I want to talk a little
Otherwise,
bit more
my brother-in-law
about
the
the
menu a
little
bit.
easy menu, because I see on the table side placard that there is something called the Cajun burger, where you can buy one, get one free every Monday from 4 p.m. to close.
Yes,
I'm not
sir.
sure what I'm about to be ordering after we're done with our recording session today. That's tempting, but it's also hard to turn away from the po' boys. Of course, gumbo is on the menu as well. For each of you guys, and Dan, we're going to start with you here. What are maybe an item or two that's your favorite thing on this menu right now?
Honestly, it's probably the chicken and waffles.
Okay.
And I got something for each of you. This is just a little gimmick that we're going to give out. We're starting a little side business. It's called Ricky's Chicken and Waffles, and it's kind of a celebration of our chef here and everybody in the kitchen that does such a good job.
All right.
But yeah, it's going to be a small menu that's just basically focused on chicken tenders, doing one thing really well. And
Is that going to be here or someplace else?
We're going to start it here as delivery and pickup only, and then hopefully it'll grow from there.
Nice.
Well, chicken and waffles is on brunch, so you'll be able to get that.
Yeah, and we, like he's saying, it's on our menu. And we kind of redid our happy hour menu. We've got one of the best happy hours on the east side, to be honest with you. Come in any day, 4 to 6, any day. Saturday, Sunday, you come in, you get happy hour. And we have chicken and waffle sliders on our happy hour menu.
Ooh.
Yeah, all of our frozens back here. We've got a wall full of frozen machines. We got 8 different flavors. They're all half price, 4 to 6. So we got a pretty killer happy hour.
That Paloma Frozen is screaming my name right now. Steven,
We
how
got
about you?
So, funnily enough, probably my single favorite menu item is only available for brunch right now. But we do egg sardou, and we serve it on toasted.
Egg sardou?
Yeah, it's spinach and artichoke. It's a spinach and artichoke sauce that has a little bit of anise in it. That's topped over griddled Liedenheimer bread, and we put poached eggs on it and serve it with fried oysters and hollandaise. And I mean, seriously, I think it's probably the single best thing that we serve, but it's got a lot of love, for sure. Brandy milk punch, Sazerac.
Oh, I love the milk punch. I like them. Yeah, the Pizzery's got a milk punch, so I'm gonna have to compare it.
We love that place too.
Yeah,
They're doing
great
good
too,
stuff.
but we're gonna have to come over here for the milk punch.
Please do. But our po' boys are, we're doing it right. The only thing that we don't make is the boudin. We're getting that from Poche's out of Breaux Bridge, Louisiana, and it's it's rad. Actually, we buy there on Dewey too, so that's what's going into our red beans and jambalaya. So because you can't recreate that flavor. It's just
sometimes you just go to the
everybody's
source.
got their favorite boudin, and my stepdad's was Poche, so that's what we're doing.
That's what you
Oh,
do.
nice.
But we've got really good fried seafood and gumbo every day. We're doing seafood gumbo only on Friday. That's probably my favorite. That's probably my second favorite thing. It's just our seafood gumbo. But yeah, it's all made with a lot of love, and come give us a try.
A little bit of spice, all the good stuff.
Oh yes.
I keep seeing prime rib debris on this menu with the debris style
that's
cheese
the
fries,
New
the prime
Orleans.
rib debris po' boy. What's going on there?
So debris is just the roast beef. The fallen apart roast beef in New Orleans is referred to as debris.
Oh my gosh.
And our version of
So
the
it's a
roast
super
beef
fatty-
po' boy It is appropriately fatty, my friend. It is
That's what they say.
perfectly
That's what I've been
with
being
a
called
fried
recently.
flavor. Don't forget that now.
People have been calling me that recently. You're appropriately fatty, Stubbs. Like, thanks,
My
babe.
9-year-old just recently was pushing on my belly, and she's like, "Daddy,
Oh, yeah.
you got a pillow top."
Oh.
I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
man."
yeah.
that's-
My 13-year-old daughter compared me to someone the other day, and I was like, that stings a little bit. I'm gonna walk it off. Wake up every morning and be like, well, maybe I do need to play a little bit more golf, walk a few more steps. So you've got how many kiddos?
Just one. I have one very precocious 9-year-old who also recently told me that when she grew up, she was going to need a van. She goes, I'm going to need a van when I start driving. And I was like, well, why do you need a van? And she goes, well, I'm going to own restaurants, Daddy. I'm going to need a van. I was like, oh. And she goes, well, don't worry, Daddy. You can still work for me.
Heck yeah.
So I got that going for me, y'all. I got job security.
I was going to
I
say.
mean, we don't have a pension plan going, but I got that.
Hey,
I'm excited.
I mean, I love that. That means that you're doing something right. If she can form her her businesses watching you and say, man, I actually want to do this instead of not do it.
She's into it.
I mean, you've got some resiliency to still, kind of show the good side of the industry and inspire the next generation.
We're trying, right? I mean, the transformative power of hospitality is what we talk about a lot, right? And it is a thing, y'all. We all need it. I mean, we can't AI our way out of needing to feel appreciated and special, and we're all in it together, right?
Amen.
We're only as strong as our network of help, and I can tell you, my 9-year-old is going to be an awesome network of help. Like she's got it going on.
Dan, you got any kiddos?
I've got two. I've got twin girls.
Twins.
Yeah. They just turned 16.
Okay.
Oh my
Cool.
goodness. So did you have to help them buy 2 cars, or are they sharing a car?
Actually, they just got their learner's permit. So
Okay.
yeah, they got it online, and they have to. There's a wait list, so they don't pick it up until next month. But
that's apparently they're very forward thinking in 2025, where most teenagers have no desire to drive. I don't understand that at all, because I was champing at the bits.
oh, me
to
too.
get my driver's
I think I got
license.
mine like the day that I turned 16. But yeah, they weren't really interested until a couple of their friends got cars, and then they're like, oh, hey, they get to like drive and they don't have to wait on mom and dad
It means
for
freedom,
this.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
independence.
I've got to ask this question. Let's go around the table here. First car was like make and model?
I mean, it was actually an old BMW.
Okay.
It was like a 318, and it had a sunroof. And
Heck yeah.
the really cool feature of this car is you had to keep a hammer in the trunk to hit the alternator. If you didn't have the hammer, you couldn't start the car.
Okay.
That's incredible.
It's quite
Right.
a safety protocol.
Ray, what did you burn the streets of Dallas with?
Carrollton, yeah. This is a great question. I love this one. A 1986 Chevy Blazer. It was
Oh, I wish you
it was
still had
Dallas
that.
Cowboys color. I wasn't a Cowboys fan, but it had a tape deck that I spent a lot of money on cassettes, and was driving around Dallas all throughout the
lot of NWA.
1994 through 1996.
NWA cassettes.
No, it was more like toadies and stuff like
Okay,
that.
there you
yeah,
go.
there was maybe some hip hop too, but it was a lot of local rock.
I had a 1972 Volvo 164 that was the 4-door Volvo sedan that was the first one to have automatic windows, which was hilarious because they very seldom worked. But that thing was a tank, man. Like, it weighed as much as my stepdad's Suburban. Like, I mean, it was amazing.
It was a beast.
It took out a brick mailbox one time, and like just all I had to do was like wipe off the dust on the hood, right? Like no problem.
I graduated to a 1982 Capri Classic after the Chevy Blazer. It was a completely different ride, very very much a tank sled type vehicle like you're talking about.
Well,
What about you, Brian?
Well, I was going to say, it's interesting that you bring up the weight of a car. My car was light, so light that I had to put cinder blocks in the trunk to keep it on.
What was
the
it, like a
road.
Geo Metro or something?
1966 Mustang.
Oh,
Inline-
wow.
Inline 6.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
And had the feature of this one, which my friends still give me crap for, was the the brights was it was a foot pedal, and it was a literal foot shaped in a foot. My cousin from Kansas City, it was his car, and he rebuilt it. And then when I turned 16, so I roll in to school in a cherry red 1966 Mustang.
Dang. The cool kid in school with that car.
It
If
helped
he had been a girl, he would have been.
Well, it
for
helped a
sure.
lot. It helped a lot. I will say that, I was a late bloomer, so it definitely kind of maybe, helped me get.
I wish you still had that car, man. That car
Well,
sounds rad.
so
Yeah.
it's a little bit of a sad story. I did have it for a long time, and my parents had it, and then it actually ended up getting sold to a doctor that my mom worked for. I know where it is, and so there's still a part of me that thinks.
Oh, there's hope.
There's
There's
hope.
hope, yeah.
There's hope. There's hope. Just to have for fun. I'm a truck guy from here on out. The new truck continues to take great care of me.
I'm a little bit surprised by that. I'm not going to lie, because you are very conscious of the world around you, and driving a giant pickup truck, to each their own, need to preface that. But driving a giant pickup truck in this town does yourself and everyone around you a pretty big disservice.
I mean, if you can't beat them, join them. This is just Texas. This is just Texas grabbing a hold of my redneck and saying, "Come our way, it's okay." No, it's a little
hard to go
problematic, mentally.
You could thread the needle like I do. I have a 1970 El Camino.
Ooh, yeah.
And
I think I saw
and,
that.
and my El Camino uses more gas than your truck, I promise.
I think
Really?
aren't they bringing
It's
the
a
El Camino back?
454.
I think I saw they're bringing the El Camino back.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I mean it's but first cars are great. That's exciting for your twin girls. Do they play sports?
They're actually really into Olympic weightlifting. My wife is a coach.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah, she's a coach at ABB, Austin Barbell.
Nice.
And they're competing next weekend.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's-
they're really into it. It's kind of what they bond over.
yeah,
It's pretty cool.
I saw a highlight I think last night of I want to say it was like, I think they were calling her strong grandma. She was like 95, and she had set
wow.
the record for a deadlift. It was really impressive. My wife does a lot of CrossFit, and like that. Again, with longevity and all the things that they talk about lifting heavy weight, it's amazing. And seeing women kind of, it does so much for their muscle mass long term. It's such a cool thing to see. So what an interesting little niche in the sports world for twin daughters to find.
Yeah, I mean they totally gravitated towards it because just wanting to see what their mom did, but they both really gotten good. They both competed in the Texas meet recently.
So no female in your house has to come to you to open a jar or
Definitely not.
or,
Definitely
or lift something up to a top shelf, huh?
Definitely not. And if you have daughters, which I think everybody does,
Yep.
you know that if you're usually outnumbered if it's you against your wife and your daughters.
Oh, you're always outnumbered. That's
I'm outnumbered with one.
yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. Clearly, she's about to take over your restaurant empire. She's about to kick you out, but apparently she's going to let you wash
one more
dishes.
story about her that just kills
please
me.
do.
So like, she was at the breakfast counter not too long ago and asking me for something. I was like, you could get that yourself. You can do that yourself. And she goes, well, why? I said, well, I don't want you to grow up and be somebody that can't do anything for themselves. Like, I don't want you to be a bum. And she just gets real serious and she goes, Daddy, someone that doesn't do things for themselves is a royal, not a bum. And I was like, I'm going to need an attorney. And I probably got the thing for it, too. That's the worst part of this story, whatever it was.
The bums lost, Lebowski.
You and I are living through a shared experience because my 10-year-old is smart beyond her years as well. In some ways, it's like you need to pump the brakes.
Yes.
Be a little bit more of a kid
Let's
right now.
talk about fairies right now.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, rainbows and unicorns. But at the end of the day, you're absolutely right. You want them to be self-sufficient,
Sure.
independent enough that they can take care of themselves when they need to. It's like finding that
job.
balance between pushing to challenge them, but also not doing so in a way that's physically harmful necessarily, or psychologically harmful, I guess, either.
Yeah, we got taken to the Longhorn game by a vendor, and had like the box and access to food and all
football
this
game?
stuff. Yeah. And she's just like, oh yeah, we should do this every weekend, right? This is great. I'm like, oh man. No.
Not every weekend, but
Let's go sit in the sun,
Oh yeah. No, I know. It is crazy. I think about it all the time with our kiddos, where it's just like, obviously we all work hard and try and, you always want your kids to have a better experience than maybe you had, but sometimes you look and you're like, you have no idea what is going on. Like, not to sound like the old man.
Yeah, it's what our
yelling at a
parents
cloud,
said
but
to
it's
us,
like,
and
I
they
know
were
it.
right, and we're
They're
saying
totally
it to them,
right.
and
Yeah,
we're
Mom,
right.
Dad,
Yeah.
you're right. But man, it's like you look around and it's like, it's like, I mean, I remember like during the freeze, like my son never lost connection to the internet. Like, like he would just hotspot. It's like he had continuous access to whatever he wanted. And I'm like, you understand that people are literally like losing food and can't get out of their houses, and it's like you're just perma on your device and uninterrupted. I mean,
during Snowmageddon, we actually had a pretty good taste of like the olden days,
a little bit of
because
we did too. We did end up
we didn't have
sleeping
it
in my
for-
office because it was on the
I
hospital grid.
have a wood-fired stove that was heating our house, and so we were legit like, I mean, my kid can build a fire like there's no tomorrow because of Snowmageddon. Like, she crushed it.
And that brings exactly up what we're talking about, right? It's like you need to have
a little bit of
some
hardship.
impediments to learn.
Yeah.
Like you said, you can't have AI do. AI is not going to build you a fire when
No.
when the Texas grid goes down.
That's not a totally somber way to
No. Let's go back. Thunder up, baby. World champions.
Guys,
Go Tigers, everybody.
Yeah,
Go Tigers.
we end every show with a food, beverage, restaurant rec here in Austin. Occasionally we waver. I had to tell people to stay away from Florida farmers markets a couple weeks ago. But let's end today's show, Dan, Stephen, with some recs from you guys, and Brian and I will offer some recs as well. You can mention something on the menu here at Little Easy or maybe someplace else. Dan?
If you haven't tried it, I definitely recommend coming any time, any day that we're open. We always have a crawfish duo. It's kind of, I think, one of the best things that we offer. It's got fried crawfish tails, crawfish etouffee, and our signature dirty rice.
Ooh,
That is fun.
that sounds good.
That with a cold beer and a Tiger game, that'll set you right with the world for
That's
sure.
right.
I'm gonna give a little plug for Sawyer and Co. We got a new menu there in the evenings, which is fun, and Chef Ian Thermowatcher has got a lot of new items on it, and we just opened Poeta. So Poeta is in Swoop House over on the east side. So y'all get a reservation and come out for a date night for Poeta. It's really lovely.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, the po' boy I had here yesterday, the oyster po' boy, was great. I also had a really, really nice fried lobster Caesar wrap at Garbo's.
Oh yeah, nice.
That was really good too. And then let's see, out at the Frio, my buddy JJ and his wife Sarah made us a fantastic bolognese.
Ooh.
Not that you can get JJ's bolognese.
I know. What the heck? This is a very...
But it was perfect after a day of sitting in cold water. So I've been eating pretty well, and then I don't know, in honor of I wish I could, honestly, what I wish I could do tonight is order a number 9 from Johnny's hickory sauce. There was a similar burger, I think it was called the Richie Valens over at Hutt's. But the Johnny's Burger from OKC, number 9. If I could have that tonight after SGA and the boys host a trophy, I'd be a very, very happy man.
My recs this week are going to be a couple of mentions for a little easy here that speak to the authenticity of the place, as if the decor doesn't already set the perfect tone. The Mardi Gras beads all over the place. I don't know if potato chip gets better than Zapp's, and they have those at the host stand there. Their salt and vinegar chips are my favorite on the planet. My son loves the voodoo chips, and they also have a root beer float on the dessert menu here, and they not only use the Abita root beer, but Abita root beer on draft.
Here.
Well done with that one, fellas. And with that, we are through another Thursday Supper Club. Stephen, Dan, thank you guys so much for the time today. Thank you for the hospitality.
We're so honored. You're always welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Go Thunder.